Oh, this is the broad top, the east broad top. We just kind of happened to cross this and noticed a narrow gauge line. That's what this is. And trolley rides today, and we pulled in here, and this train was going across the street. All right, well, Jennifer went in to see if we can actually get tickets to ride this thing. I don't know. I better get up there and see, but yeah, I thought I'd catch this. The sun's in a horrible position, and I don't want to walk across the track, so. Very cool. All right, this is Courtney Brown. Are you the engineer?
I'm the engineer.
He's the honcho. He's gonna show us around. Tell me a little bit about this locomotive.
1916 Baldwin. It's been here its whole entire life. It was bought brand new in 1916. Roughly 1,000 horsepower, 30,000 foot-pounds of tractive effort. Just came back online here this past month after some major service. Beautiful.
So, show us how you run this thing.
Full-tight quarters. It's called a deckless cab. There's no room in here.
Yeah, I see no seats or anything.
Well, we got a seat, but
okay.
Basically all controls are throttle, engine brake, this is your reverser, and this is your train brake right here. Not the most ergonomic either.
All right, it is very warm. It's a brisk morning, so it feels good in here, but I'll bet in the summertime this thing...
Thermometer's saying about 112 up there.
Cool. And as you don't know if you can tell from here, but this is a narrow gauge. What gauge is this?
3 foot.
3? Is it, I noticed a few miles back we came across a crossing and it looked like trees going through the tracks. So this just goes out, how many miles is your excursion?
Round trip's roughly 10 miles.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I will get out of your hair. I really appreciate you letting me come up here and look around. And what's your name?
My name's Nevin.
Nevin?
Yep.
Mark McGowan. Pleased to meet you. All right, gentlemen. Enjoy your day and have fun. I'm going to get over here on the better side of it. I love just... Like I said, we just stumbled across this. We're on our way to Gettysburg, and I noticed these narrow gauge tracks a few miles down, quite a few miles, and trees growing up through the rails. So I said, oh, it's cool, abandoned. But then as we got closer, going along the tracks closer to this area, I noticed that it was pretty well ballasted. Steam engines fascinate me. But yeah, so we come through this town and we saw a little sign that said trolley ride. So we thought we'll do a trolley ride. Then as you saw, we pulled up to the crossing and saw this. So yeah, we don't have time to ride this today. We got a tight schedule. Gettysburg, then Hershey, already planned that out. And then tomorrow we're doing a steam excursion on the Everett Railroad out of Hollidaysburg. And certainly do a video on that too. But yeah, this is a beautiful locomotive. All right, we are at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And this right here, according to the sign, is where the Battle of Gettysburg began on July 1st, 1863. And there's an audio tour that you can drive your car through, and it is kind of cool and sobering to be right where one of the most decisive battles of the Civil War began. And yeah, so we're going to get in, hook up, and take the tour. All right, this is where another pivotal battle took place. The Union Army was here. The Confederate Army was in the woods over there. And they, General Reynolds was killed before entering the woods. Evidently he told his men forward for God's sake, and then was struck in the back of the neck by a mini ball, okay? And was killed. But the brigade, they called the Midwesterners Iron Brigade, was able to drive the Confederates out of these woods and accomplish that part of the battle. All right, we are on Oak Hill, and that is the Eternal Flame of Peace monument there. And we were down there a while ago. That is actually Oak Ridge, and McPherson's Ridge is over there by where we started. That's where the battle started. The Confederate General Roads, and I'm not up on, I'm just trying to remember what I read on these things and heard on the tour, but Confederate General Roads arrived here on Oak Hill around noon and had 8,000 troops. And down there where the field turns to there's the cornfield down there, and where it's yellow, that's where the Union troops are all gathered there, all the way back across the field in front of us. And they opened up, the Confederates opened up with this artillery. I'm sure there were more than 2 cannons, but they opened up on the Union. The battle lasted until about 4 o'clock, and there were heavy losses. It doesn't say how much, but the Confederates drove the Union Army back into Gettysburg, the town, which is over there, which is where we'll be headed next. All right, this is the Soldiers Memorial, but it is also the spot where Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address. And in his own words, at the time, he just thought he would speak a few appropriate words. And when you read the Gettysburg Address, it's not very long, but it sure became a powerful piece of American and world history. And the cemetery surrounding us this way, you can see the stones on the ground. Well, let's walk down here. These are all, there's a map that shows, and these soldiers are all buried according to the state they were from. And they're buried in a semicircle from the edge of this road, centered on the memorial there, up to there. And I'm not exactly sure of the significance of the cemetery over here. I think this cemetery was the Gettysburg Cemetery. It already existed. This was Cemetery Hill, and this was a position that was part of the battle where they fired the cannons down onto low ground down there. They have these memorials everywhere around here, and they're all dedicated to individual regiments, batteries, people who fought. Each battlefield has its own memorials to the regiments and groups or whatnot that fought there. And like this battery here was one of the Union batteries. And as I said a while ago, all these batteries were concentrated down the hill. The city of Gettysburg is actually over that way. But there's the one for New York. Let's go take a look at that. These stones here are just numbered. I'm assuming those are just unknown, but I don't, this is unknown here, but a lot of these have names. This is part of the New York. These are part of it. This is the New York section. And then these graves here are veterans of other wars. There's some look like they died in World War I. Many with died. I see one from 1929. So I'm not exactly sure what these or the ones across the street. I'm not exactly sure what those signify. As I take a closer look at some of these are family members of soldiers that either fought or died or were wounded, whatever, at Gettysburg. And yeah, this Calvin Hamilton was wounded at Gettysburg on the second day, July 2nd, the second day of the battle. And his wife is also buried here, Ann K. Hanaway. But yeah, so these are veterans of other battles. And this one and other battles. These blocks here list the states and how many bodies are buried here from these states that are unidentified, I guess. Yeah, West Virginia, Illinois, Delaware over there. And then back there is the Soldier Memorial, where the Gettysburg Address was delivered. And there's Jennifer. Okay, well, walked over to this side of the hill here, and these are actually graves that appear to be newer. We see Korea, Vietnam, World War I and World War II. I can see those just standing here. But I did, as I said, I did see some of those further over on the other side where I was earlier. But this looks like this part of the cemetery is actually dedicated to those who fought and died in later wars. Okay, well, I didn't read the deal right there when we came in. I didn't read it thoroughly, and there are soldiers who are buried here from the Civil War through the Vietnam War, and that would explain some of the World War I dates back there. And I didn't go look at a lot more individual headstones. There are a lot of them here, and I'm still assuming that this cemetery behind us is the Gettysburg Cemetery. That Cemetery Hill, according to what I can see and all the things that along the tour, was a Cemetery Hill was already called Cemetery Hill when the Gettysburg battle occurred. So I'm assuming that that is not a military cemetery, and not actually part of it, because it's fenced off. There's a fence between here and there are no gates that go between them. So, you know me, I love to speculate. I apologize for the sketchiness of the Gettysburg thing. I was unprepared, and as I said, I'm not a Civil War buff, so I lacked information. But I still, I was glad, and I'd almost forgotten that I even did the East Broad Top steam locomotive when we passed through there. And while, as I said in the summary, Jennifer and I weren't sorry that we went to Gettysburg. It was a cool historical thing, but when it was all said and done, we wish we'd have just done the train and maybe done Gettysburg next time we go to Pennsylvania. But anyway, we did. If you enjoy the Civil War and that kind of history and you want to go there and make a video, I suggest doing a little homework before to find out exactly what happened. Cemetery Hill, as it turned out, was where the last battle of Gettysburg was fought. We went to the museum after this, and they had a big presentation, a film, and then a cyclorama. It was awesome that talked about what happened at Cemetery Hill in the final battle of Gettysburg. So, yeah, do some research and plan your video out a little bit better than I did so you're not umming and on. I edited probably 5 minutes of silence of me just trying to figure out what I was looking at. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the Gettysburg video. I know you like the East Broad Top. Everybody likes steam locomotives. So anyway, there are the URLs to my PayPal and my Patreon. If you can help the channel out that way, I'd sure appreciate it. Keep shooting me the ideas. Drop them in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motorpoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content, and we'll see you all later.